Hey guys, so these are the pickups that I got in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say. And I just want to say, guys, I'm sorry for not making any videos the past week or two. And it's just because I've been way too busy lately. It just turned summer, and of course I'm doing a lot of stuff. So that's why I haven't made any videos, so let's just begin. So first I went to the thrift store, and I actually found 4 games, and they were actually pretty cool games. And recently, for some reason, this thrift store has gotten like a whole just aisle of like Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games. And unfortunately, they're mostly sports games, and they're mostly overpriced, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 games, so I wasn't able to get any of those. But the first game that I got is for the PlayStation 1, and it is Street Fighter Alpha 3, and I got it for 95 cents, and I thought there's one there, but it looks like they crossed it off, so it was only $1 actually, and it is complete, and the only problem is this right here. I'm gonna have to get that off. It looks like it was like at a rental place almost, but it is complete with manual and everything. And that's the only PlayStation 1 game that I got from the thrift store. The last 3 games are actually PlayStation 2, and they're pretty cool. So the first game that I got was Medal of Honor Rising Sun, and this was $2, and it is complete with the manual and the CD. And the CD's actually in pretty good condition. All of them had some scratches on them, of course. The next game that I got was Primal, and I actually never heard of this game until I saw it at the thrift store, and I just decided to pick it up and see what it was like. It was only $2, and of course, it has notorious GameStop stickers on it. But anyway, unfortunately, it doesn't have the manual, but it does have the CD, and it is in used condition. It does have some light scratches. But I'm kind of excited to play this game. And the final game that I got from the thrift store is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and it was $2. And for some reason, all these games looked like they did come from GameStop, which is kind of a problem, but I can obviously get most of these off. And this almost looks like a Blockbuster sticker right here. But anyway, it does not have the manual with it, just the CD and also the case. But I still want to play this game, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So now let's just move on to the games that I got from the flea market that I went to. Alright, so I went to the flea market on Sunday, and I actually found a couple of cool things. So first off, I went around, of course, the flea market one time, and I found some things like the SNES, but they wanted like $60, which is about eBay price, and I really didn't want to pay that so early in the morning. And then they also had some N64 games that I never placed, but they were above eBay actually. And finally, I saw a like reseller, and they have like their own like permanent booth inside of this place that I went to. And I was like, maybe I'll finally be able to find an N64, because I went to the thrift store and I did find 3 N64s, and they were $15 each. And unfortunately, all they had were the jumper packs, and they did have the power supply and AV cables, but they didn't have a controller, and the reset button was stuck on the one that had everything on it, and the other 2 didn't have any jumper packs, so I just decided not to get it. And I was hoping that I would have been able to find one from this retailer or reseller, but I wasn't able to. And the only good thing was I actually did find 2 games from him, and the 2 games are, I don't think I have them with me anymore, I think I actually put them in my collection. But I got Outrun for the Sega Master System, and that was $3. The only reason that I got it was so that I can actually hook it up to my attachment for the Sega Genesis and see if it works or not. And the other game that I got was for the N64 and was Star Wars Episode 1 Racers. And it was $5, and I know it's about retail, but I just wanted to get something so I didn't go home empty-handed. And unfortunately, they didn't have an N64 like I said, but then I went back around one more time, and there's a place selling some CDs, and there's this giant box. It was probably like 2 feet high it was like 24 inches by 24 inches, and it said PlayStation 2 with 5 games for $20, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. But luckily, I got them down to $15 for it because it is a slim model, and as you can see, this is kind of wearing off right here. And one good thing was it did have a modem built into it, so that's why I also wanted it. And it came with 5 games, and those 5 games aren't that good of games. NCAA Football 2004, and that is complete. And I actually have the game in the system because I was testing it out, but I didn't want to ruin any good games that I got with the deal. So NCAA Football 2004. The next game was Madden 06, and it's also complete. And of course, these games are only worth like 50 cents a piece. But then it also had 3 other cool games. It was Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Legend, and it is complete. But this game was loose inside, and it is Resident Evil Director's Cut, and it's for PlayStation 1, but it was loose, and I decided just to put it in here because at the time this was actually empty, this case, so I thought I only had 4 games, but it was actually inside of the PlayStation 2. So the final game that I got was Test Drive 4, and it is out of the box, out of the case, of course. And it's just loose, but I was just thrown in with the deal. And it also came with the power supply. It's all tangled with everything else, but it did come with the power supply. And it also came with 2 AV cables. And I wasn't really sure why at first, but he said that it did have some problems on one of his TVs, but not on the other one. So I guess there's 2 AV cables for that reason, but I actually did find out that it was just the one AV cable was broken. And I think it's this one actually was the one that's broken. So that's one of the reasons that I got it for $15. The other one was it was raining at the time, and I guess he really didn't want it to rain and have this electronic system out, so he just kind of sold it to me for $15. It also had 2 PlayStation 2 controllers with it. And this one's actually really worn down. And it also has something inside, and it was, whenever it was rattling, you could hear it shaking inside. And yeah, so that is what I got from the flea market and also thrift store over the past couple of weeks. And of course, I'm sorry guys for not posting anything sooner, but it's just how life goes sometimes. So thanks a lot guys, and remember to give a like rating, and I'll see you next week.